Hi and hello, gracious souls, and welcome to For Divinity. If you've been here before, then you know that this is a channel specifically dedicated and made for your highest divinity. If you're here for the first time, that's interesting that the universe brought you here. I am very glad. There is definitely a reason behind it. Okay, so today's reading is all about your next 2 weeks. So from the moment that you clicked, next 14 days, we're looking at it, right? And basically, the only disclaimer I would have is that I am going to look at many aspects. 3 different main ones. So I'm gonna look at the energy not to miss, at some good news that you can expect or good things happening to you, basically blessings, and also at challenges. So my disclaimer is that if you think that there will be no challenges on your way, which is, by the way, a great mentality. You're like, yeah, everything is fine. I love where I am. And you don't want to hear about the challenges. You can either skip this video or this part of the video. And yeah, other than that, I'm very grateful. So let's get straight to it. We have 3 piles for you today to choose from. And we're going to differentiate them by crystals. For pile number 1, we have Botswana agate. For pile number 2, we have amethyst, and this one is pretty particular because it's only white. For pile number 3, we have fluorite. So yeah, I will leave you a 60-second meditation in case you need that and you like the music in the background. My advice is only not to maybe pick the prettiest crystal, but of course, if your intuition is telling you to do so, then by any means do it. However, always for me, I don't choose the prettiest one, but the ones that I resonate with, right? So where's my energy? Where's the energy of the crystal? Because, they radiate, they vibrate differently, and I choose the one that resonates. I'm gonna stop blabbing. You know what to do. See you in your pile, and thank you so much for your presence. Hi, pile number 1, and welcome to your reading. This is for you all that chose the Botswana agate, and I am going to leave the crystal here so that we can see it. The first category that we're going to look at is the energy not to miss during the next 2 weeks in your life. And the cards that came out for this category are the 6 of Wands, 2 of Cups, and 7 of Wands. This is interesting because, as you can see, the order in which they came out is pretty particular, because we have the 2 of Cups in the middle, and on the sides we have this progression from the 6 of Wands to the 7 of Wands. And the 2 of Cups is usually about divine unions. It can be a romantic card, so for those of you that are looking for some romance, maybe we can channel also these messages. But the first one that I see is that this is a union between these 2 energies of the cards on the sides, right? So between the 6 of Wands and 7 of Wands. And it's also interesting that the woman in the 2 of Cups sits on the left, the man on the right. So usually the right is the masculine side, the left is the feminine side. So it also makes me think that the 6 of Wands is connected to more feminine energy, and the 7 of Wands is more connected more to the masculine, divine masculine, right? And these are not gendered, remember. So both these cards from the Suit of Wands indicate that other people may be present in your next 2 weeks, maybe even a bit more than they have been. These may be people that you know, but also new ones coming. And since it's answering not to miss, so okay, the Six of Wands is about people being there to see your victory, supporting you, cheering for you. You're basically kind of in the middle of everything happening around you. You're the center of attention, right? While in the Seven of Wands, you may also be the center of attention, but people are kind of coming at you because of something you do, you say, and maybe they don't understand. They are against your way of being. So it's a great balance between it. So my advice for you, because I know this was pretty vague up until now, my advice for you, my beautiful pile number 1, is in the next 14 days, and I know it's a lot to ask, but try it at least for a couple of next days, be really conscious of how you interact with other people. I feel like it's also saying a little bit that the more you fight, and if there is anyone in the next 2 weeks coming your way saying, I didn't like what you said, or they don't understand your way of being, they don't understand where you're coming from, the way of thinking. If you try to protect it, like if you get into your ego, you try to protect your ideas, it's like, well, you didn't understand me. That's not who you are. If you try to over-explain yourself, who you are and why you do certain things in the certain way, it's like it will be perpetuating the fight, basically. It will be going into this masculine. And I feel like this is calling you not to miss that Six of Wands. So getting it into practice. And it's going to be only an example. If it happens in the next 2 weeks that someone doesn't agree, please don't try to show them that they are wrong or that you are right, or maybe even if they are right. Like, just don't engage in the arguing, but focus on the people that are already there for you in your life. Maybe for some of you, that's your mom. So in a bad moment, it's like calling you to focus on these people that are here to support you. Maybe for some of you, it's your partner. Maybe for others of you, it's your friend. But Spirit is really asking you that, and they are saying that there are so many people in your life wanting to see you succeed. And in the next 2 weeks, there may be this balancing act of meeting people that don't get you, don't get who you are, but also being surrounded by the ones that want to see you succeed. These may be also people that you don't know, maybe people on the internet for some of you, if you have a platform. The Six of Wands basically is a card, of public recognition. So if it's the energy not to miss, don't be scared of being the center of attention. It may happen to you in the next 14 days that you're going to be asked to take the lead. And also to take some kind of creative project, because the Suit of Wands is very creative. It's growth oriented. It can be also career based. So if you're a student or if you have any kind of a job, you may be called to really be confident in your job in the next 2 weeks, make firm decisions, and lead other people. The Six of Wands for me is that kind of energy. It's like you already know your stuff and you're showing the others how it should be done. And if there is anyone around you, maybe a coworker, maybe someone from school, maybe some other examples too. My reality is also limited, so I'm not giving you some others, but remember to lead, because there is definitely coming a situation in the next 2 weeks that you're going to be asked to do this. Maybe there will be people leaning on you or wanting your advice, but ultimately you're surrounded. You're not alone, okay? You're not alone. For those of you that are looking for something romantic, the Two of Cups may indicate a union. It's honestly telling me that this may be someone you know and you're asked not to miss this person. Maybe a meetup with them, maybe going for dinner together. It doesn't have to be very romantic. The Two of Cups usually is romantic. However, it doesn't have to. But there is also this energy of just having a good time in front of others, not feeling like a fraud. And now I am talking from personal experience, because I know what it's like to go into people and feel like, oh, maybe I'm talking too much, or maybe I'm taking up the space, or oh, maybe they thought I was weird. And Spirit is really coming through in this reading to tell you that if it happens to you, that the eyes are on you in your next 14 days, it's because they should be. So don't have this, I mean, it's easy for me to say, but try to remember my words, and that this is natural. This may come up because of the presence of the Seven of Wands, but try to go out of the imposter syndrome and believe that you are the right person at the right time. And if the eyes are on you, they should be. You should be like, yeah, this is who I am. And some people will see that and they will be like, wow, this person is so amazing. Pile number 1 is, I want to be like them. And I didn't finish the message about the romantic. I would say that it's someone you know, maybe give them a chance. I don't necessarily feel like anyone new coming. However, I don't have all the information, and it may happen if you're really looking for it. Remember that you're going to be surrounded by others, so maybe in the crowd of your admirers, and I'm saying admirers because I'm looking at the Six of Wands, you see the people are clapping for this witch. They're like, yes, they love her. They love her. So maybe in the midst of your admirers, there is a romantic partner for you if you're looking for that. And maybe even in the midst of your quote-unquote enemies. You never know who you're gonna get on your side. Just remember about being humble, not trying to show off with the ego and trying to explain why you are the way you are. Just really embrace yourself and embrace the eyes looking at you. Okay, I think we can move on to the next category, and this is good news. Good news. What did I say? Coming to you, yes, or good things. I'm sorry, I had to think a little bit. Ooh, okay. 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 For those of you that I said, I'm not changing my mind, okay? For those of you that I said that if you're looking for a romantic thing, that no one new is coming, I'm changing my mind. Only for those of you that want a romantic reading, and don't worry, I will switch to the non-romantic in a second. You have the Seven of Pentacles, as you can see, and the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is basically your Prince Charming. They are. It's not he, it's not she, it's whatever you want them to be. They are your Prince Charming, Princess Charming, okay? So, Ooh, with the good news and good things with the Seven of Pentacles, it's either that your business is growing or your, if you're a student and like your student things, they are moving steadily because the Pentacles are very steady, very grounded. Anything that you've been working on, it may have felt like it's been slow, and I don't feel that it's really taking on the momentum. I feel like it's still going to be very steady. It doesn't mean slow, but it means steady and stable. But with the Seven of Pentacles, it's like either the good news or the good things coming your way is that you're going to be happy at your work, you're going to be very productive, or for others of you, because you can see this witch, you can see the grapes. She's collecting grapes, right? And they wanted to say that she's already collecting them, but not really. They are not fully mature just yet. They are not fully violet or purple. They're a bit greenish. So the good news though coming your way, and maybe this is the good news coming from me, or they may actually be someone that tells you, maybe this is the Prince or Princess Charming that tell you this, that your work in the next 2 weeks, whatever you're going to be focusing on and doing, it has great value, because the Pentacles, I'm almost out of breath, but I'm so excited. The Pentacles are representing also the money aspect in our lives, right? So they have a lot of value, and the Seven of Pentacles is connected to work. diligence, a job. Therefore, it means that whatever you're doing and focusing on, whatever you had in your mind, like maybe you have some plans already for the next 2 weeks. I mean, it doesn't even have to be job. Some of you can be going on vacation, but it's still going to be productive in a way. It's going to serve either you or others in one way or another. But remember that it's like you're being asked not to stop. Please keep working on whatever you're working on, whether it's study, job, etc., etc. But yeah. Ooh, definitely you're going to be getting a harvest. And I'm not saying it's going to happen in the next 2 weeks necessarily, but it's like you're getting there. You're really getting towards your dream, towards your manifestation. I love it. And with the Knight of Cups, it may just mean that someone in your life really shows you appreciation. And I'm also, again, I'll be talking from a personal example. I really sometimes need my the people that surround me to like pat me on the back and be like, what you're doing is so cool. It's not that I want to show off with my ego and be like, haha, I'm so great. But it's like I need this pat because it really gives me a lot. And I know that, for example, I just talked about it today with my partner, that he is not like that. He doesn't need that much validation. However, if you do, if you're like me, then I feel like it may be coming, because the Knight of Cups is, as you can see, he's on his broomstick, going and spreading love. From this cup are infinite hearts. This is like infinite love. This is also looking through pink-colored glasses and being a little bit too much in the clouds with your love thoughts, and really romanticizing life. I don't necessarily feel like it's about you, because if we had the Knight of Cups on the left, maybe it would be like you romanticizing your work. But I feel like it's someone else, or it doesn't even have to be from a person. It can be like life showing you the appreciation. Maybe through animals, through books, you will read that. I mean, books have been written by people too. So anyways, there is some energy of your work being loved and being appreciated. And now I feel like I've been blabbing about it too much, because it's like I sound like a broken record. However, yeah, please don't change course if you're happy with your job, because it's really going to give you the harvest that you're looking for. And the third category is going to be a possible challenge. So if you don't want to listen to the challenge, not to get like stressy about it, you can skip, of course. But if you do, then let's look at the cards. Okay, we have for you the Three of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. Or I actually feel like I should say the Ten of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. Oh, I think I know what this is about. So, or maybe I don't know. The Three of Wands is all about having an expansive look on life, making your life a blank canvas and really seeing the possibilities. It's about also very big growth. So if it's talking about a challenge, it could indicate two different things. So please take the one that resonates with you. If you're really like working diligently on your projects, your endeavors, with the Seven of Pentacles that we saw a minute ago, it may mean that you're so much in the present moment that the challenge will be to see the way ahead. It's like, you see the work that is to be done, and the challenge is to think like, oh my God, it's never going to end. It's never going to happen. It's like you feel that you're overwhelmed with work or things to do, like responsibilities. But again, we see the Pentacles from the Ten of Pentacles. It's interesting. I'm getting the image from Spirit of you being like in a mountain of books, let's say, and you need to read them, and you're like, how am I ever going to read all these books? But I promise you, if you just focus on putting one foot in front of the other and making one step ahead each time, each second, each breath you take, it's going to become easier. And the other message, however, may be that some others of you are looking so far back into the future. You have such a precise image of what you want that you feel like you will never get there, because it's like you have the end goal and then you look at your life and you're like, it doesn't look how I want it to look. But Spirit is really asking you with these pentacles to have patience. It's going to happen. I promise you this, my beautiful pile number 1. I mean, it's not going to happen only if you change your mind and you decide that this is not what you want anymore. But if you really want it, then it's going to happen. The Ten of Pentacles may show a family situation and also like family money situation. So there may arise a possible challenge within your family circle, or within your mind, how you see your family or someone else's family, if you're into that. It's like, I feel there may be the fear of there not being enough to provide for your family. But it may be connected if you resonated with this person who sees, you see the end goal. Let's say you're working on writing a book, only an example, right? Then you already see the finished product. You see yourself as the bestseller. Maybe this is what the Six of Wands is also connected to. You want to be publicly recognized for your intellect, your opinions, and so on and so forth, for something that you possess and that makes you you. And it's like you see your book on the shelves, etc. But then as you're watching it, maybe you don't even have the first sentence written. Maybe you don't even know how to contact a publisher. Maybe you don't even know what kind of colors you want on your book cover, right? It's maybe you don't have all these ideas, but you want it to happen. And you see the challenge that lays ahead. And here is me talking about, be patient. And you're only getting more and more frustrated. So the Ten of Pentacles is this ultimate goal, right? Because this is a 10. The 10 is the ultimate digit. I mean, it's not even one digit anymore because it condenses to 1. But it means the last stage in tarot. It's the last card of the numbered ones. And it represents having the family, having the stable income, having a legacy, a whole legacy. And the challenge for you in the next 14 days, pile number 1, is to really be grounded in the present moment. The Pentacles are very grounded, and you're being called to also do this. By the way, if you're going to be grounded in the present moment, you're not going to miss the opportunity, the situation that will present itself with others. What I didn't mention is that if you have other people's eyes looking at you, by being yourself, you may show someone the correct way of being. Because let's say you are in a crowd and there are 10 people looking at you. Maybe these 9 people are against you, but if you try to conform, if you try to be like they want you to be, then maybe that 10th person had to see you being your authentic self, but you were not. And you didn't show them the light at the end of the tunnel, or like the light of life, just your own light. You know what I mean? However, if you choose to be against these 9 people, and it's okay, they don't like you because you're not for everybody, right? I love grapes, but I know some people that don't like grapes. So it's like, doesn't matter who you're gonna be, how you're gonna behave, there's always gonna be people that don't like you. If you choose to stay and be yourself, you will be the light for that 10th person, and maybe they needed to see you being your authentic self. And please be grounded in the present moment, not to lose this opportunity with others. Also, not to lose this Two of Cups. Maybe something romantic may come from it if you want it. Or maybe a deepening of your relationship right now. However, the real challenge, it's like many of you are really looking ahead. You're already want to have everything manifested, but Spirit is asking you to put the work and diligence, and especially in the next 14 days, since you're watching this kind of a video, like with the Seven of Pentacles. And it's like the Seven of Pentacles is also a card that calls you to look at your achievements right now and all, like, notice them. Notice how much you have achieved. Please think about yourself from 5 years ago or for 3 years ago. If I look at myself 3 years ago, first of all, I did not know what I wanted to do. I was before my spiritual awakening. I was sometimes very mean because I was not very self-aware. I still ate meat and not so many vegan, like plant-based products. I was putting shit into my body. I was spending my whole days on my phone because I had no conscious awareness. And me too, I too want to achieve certain things, for example, on YouTube or in my other aspects of my life, in my relationship. However, I know that I cannot rush them. And don't worry, I still sometimes forget we're human beings. So why I'm talking about myself, it's only to drive the point home with you. It's that you probably from 3 years ago or from even 1 year, you did not have the same kind of understanding. You did not have the same set of skills, the same knowledge. Like, you learned so much. And the Seven of Pentacles is the card that calls you to notice your achievements. Because it's like some of you will feel like you have so much to do that you forget to look at the amazing things that you've done. And please, right now as I'm speaking, think about one thing that you did or how you behaved that you're proud of. There has to be something like this. Please conjure it up in your mind right now, right? And say thank you for it. Because I'm telling you, pile number 1, the biggest challenge lying ahead for you is not to get too much into the future with your thoughts. And try to diminish this image in your mind of you already having the house, having the money, having the love, having the job of your dreams, because it's going to come in its right moment. Okay? So I feel like this is the main challenge on your way. As you can see, there's no challenge with love, with job. It's only like connected to your mindset and how you see things. Okay, so remember, in a nutshell, be aware of how you interact with others, how you show yourself in front of other people. Don't miss anyone making a romantic move if you're into this, but also, don't be on an outlook. It's going to happen naturally. And have patience with your work. Work diligently on your projects and endeavors. And please remember that in due time, when the universe thinks it's a correct time for you, it's going to happen. And also, believe me, that once it happens, you're going to be glad that it didn't happen sooner. Because you're going to be like, yeah, probably back then I was not mature enough. I didn't have this or that. It's like, yeah. Okay. And is it everything? No, there is one more thing. Okay, so I I also don't have any cards with animals, but I wanted to give you a spirit animal message for your next 2 weeks. So like a spirit companion that can be there for you if you want to talk to them, pray to them, with them. You just want to call on them when you feel the need. And I used a random generator on the internet. And as you can see, you got the prairie dog. So I will type on my phone prairie dog spiritual meaning. That's what you can also do if you ever want to read about them or any other animal. And the website says, I'm gonna read it. Need more stability in a relationship? Want greater emotional control? Prairie dog as a spirit, totem, and power animal can help. Prairie dog teaches you to garner strength by digging to the energetic influence of the earth element. Ooh, you see? The earth element, being grounded. All while showing you how to better manage feelings threatening to overwhelm you. Delve deeply into prairie dog symbolism and meaning, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Call on a prairie dog as your power animal when reviewing your responsibilities to your tribe. Group dynamics mean honing your social skills. See, honing your social skills, reviewing your responsibilities to your tribe. I'm telling you, there is something connected to you and the people that surround you. Oh my God. Okay, it says, clarify your thoughts in your meditations with Prairie Dog, then work as a unit in which each person knows their role. Wow. Your prairie dog power animal makes a competent partner when navigating dark situations in your life. There are choices to be made, but nothing seems clear when shadows and doubt hover around your thoughts. Prairie dog helps you traverse such conditions and calls to close friends to aid you. Beautiful. Not surprisingly, those born with the prairie dog totem. Okay, maybe that's not your totem animal, but let's read. When a group needs an oh my God, this is literally what I was talking about. When a group needs an organizer, a prairie dog person jumps at the opportunity. That's what you're called to do in the next 2 weeks. I cannot. The individual has a rare gift for bringing diverse people together for a cause. It is of an equal rarity to find prairie dog without a project or two on their plate, often an eco-friendly nature. With the prairie dog, you may consider becoming a vegetarian. You also have a special touch when it comes to anything you grow. Sometimes you're tempted to overdo it. Okay, no, this is for people who have it as a birth totem, so maybe I read too much. However, I would really, okay, I'm going to leave you this website linked down below in the description box with like pile number 1 link, and it's going to be below it. So you can click anytime in the next 2 weeks. I would even advise you to save this link, maybe on like WhatsApp Messenger notes, phone notes, somewhere that you're going to see it. And please call on this animal or read this information whenever you feel like you need some guidance, because they are going to be aiding you in your next 14 days. And I loved the messages. I loved them. So, pile number 1. Wow. Wow. Best of luck, and thank you so much for watching. This is all I have for you today. And if that helped you anyhow and you liked it, maybe you can consider leaving a like or a comment with like heart emoji or something. I would really appreciate it. And thank you very much for your presence. All the best on your way as always. Maybe we'll see each other again, who knows. So remember, until next time, we'll probably bump into each other at least one more time in our life. So bye-bye. Hello, people who chose pile number 2. If your choice was the amethyst crystal, then this is for you. Your next 2 weeks. Let's look at the categories. There are 3 of them. It's going to be the first one, the energy not to miss. The second one, good news or good things coming your way or happening to you in your life. And the third category is a possible challenge. I will give you an alert before talking about the challenge, so if you don't want to listen to this part, you will know when to stop, let's say. Okay, so let's look at your cards. First, we have Death for you, the Hanged Man, and the Fool. Very interesting. Pile number 2. In the same category, you have the Hanged Man and then the Fool. The Hanged Man is all about pauses, while the Fool is its exact opposite. It's about movement, starting, new excitement. So we'll go into that. But first of all, what I see from the Death card, please don't be scared of it. I hope you're not. It doesn't mean death, like the actual one. It is talking that in your life, there will be an energy of severing something present in your life in the next 14 days, in the next 2 weeks. And this may pertain to many areas of your life. You will probably get an intuitive pull, or you may also be surprised by it. But it may talk about something with career, love, relationships. You will probably know. However, if you feel in the next 2 weeks that it's time to end something, it's time to say, okay, enough is enough, or maybe it's just time to stop for a moment, look back at your path and say, what was serving me before doesn't serve me anymore, and it's time to open the new door. Please pay attention to it appearing in your life, there is definitely a bigger lesson coming from it, since it's something not to miss. Of course, I mean, now it just came to my mind, if something is ending in your life, it's difficult to miss it, right? But sometimes we turn our heads away from ending things. So definitely keep that in mind. With the Hanged Man, the Fool and the Hanged Man, they give me this energy of being split a little bit. It's also, for me, it seems like a progression. It's like one thing ends, and after one ends, it's not that you want to immediately jump into the new one. You want to have a certain pause, but I feel like not long, since the Fool is the last card. I feel like it's all going to happen within the next 14 days. However, maybe there is a moment of pause needed for you to think about your next direction, where you want to go, where you want to take your life, and whatever this category of death we'll be talking about, it's probably, I feel like the Hangman is related, okay? So if you want to end a chapter, close a page, or close the book, or, finish up maybe what you started in the past, after it, ask yourself in the next 14 days, and Spirit is saying not to miss it, because it's easy to go on automatic, right? And just end and be like, okay, now the next one, the next achievement, the next goal. And I feel like you're called to question, like even appreciate what was ended and ask yourself, okay, where do I want to go next? What is my next achievement? And I feel like Spirit is saying to me that it doesn't have to be big. Remember pile number 2? If you want that, I'm now receiving a message to create a plan and divide it into smaller tasks, and maybe think about the smaller tasks. But with the Fool, it means that also in the next 14 days of your life, the energy of excitement and new things is going to be present. Therefore, if you decide to end something, or something is forced on you and it ends by itself, it's like, I feel like it will set you free ultimately. And believe me, that the death may talk about things of, let's say, more major importance and lesser importance, right? It may be something as an actual relationship, a romantic relationship ending, but for some of y'all, it may be just a way of eating, a way of sleeping, so a habit. Maybe some of you literally go to work by car and you want to start walking or going by bike, and the death may talk about this. So remember that it doesn't have to be very big, although now I'm questioning my words, because I only now realize that you have 3 major arcana cards. And for me, major arcana cards are like the energy of them is difficult to miss in the first place. So I don't want to be rude, but maybe some of you all need to hear it. Maybe that's you that I'm talking to. If you've got the 3 major arcana cards in the category of energy not to miss, maybe you have a tendency sometimes to lose the awareness of the present moment and go with your thoughts into the past, into the future, into some imaginative story. And I feel like during the next 14 days, Spirit is calling you to cultivate that presence, be in the body, listen to your own breath, listen to your own heartbeat, your thoughts, and really be connected to yourself. Because the Fool, this is the card that we may also put at the end of the tarot cards of the major arcana, but usually the Fool is represented as the first card, as the 0 one, and then the whole journey begins. It's called the hero's journey, or the journey of the Fool, and so on. Therefore, if we consider this Fool card to be the first one, 0, the transition, the very beginning, right? Even something before the beginning, it's very important that you think about the direction that you want to go in and create some sort of a plan, write it down, maybe journal about it, because this is going to take you on all this adventure laterwards. But I am really getting the sense of you being freed, in the next 14 days. If there has been anything heavy in your life, I really feel like it's being lifted up. And that's because you can see in the Death card, the atmosphere, the air seems very gloomy. It's very dark and gray. And then in the Hanged Man, it's so and so. It's in between. Because also the Hanged Man may talk about being in between or like something being upside down. But okay, I'm babbling right now. What I meant is that you see the atmosphere is clearing out a little bit. The clouds seem to be in movement. They do not seem stagnant. It's there is some kind of a storm maybe, but near the shoes of this figure, you see that maybe there's some sunlight coming through, or the clouds are not so dense anymore. And then you go into the Fool, and the clouds, you can actually see them going away and away and away, and they are also moving to the left side, right? So it's like the gloominess is being left in the past, and the clear blue sky is showing on the right. The birds are also flying towards the right. The Fool is also moving itself towards the right. And if you're from the Western culture, I am going to interpret it that way. We read from left to right. We look at the timeline from left to right. So for me, it's really a big transition towards the future. So it's like things are accelerating in your life in the next 14 days. Sometimes in the period of 2 weeks, it's not easy to see this. But even though the Hanged Man is present here with this pause, I feel like ultimately, because of the Fool, at the end, you may go somewhere. Go somewhere, physically or not, physically or mentally, or maybe with your thoughts, and you know what I mean. Yeah. So let's move on to the second category, and then we'll see if we can tie it together somehow. So the next cards that I have for you are, we have the Magician, and oh my god, and the Nine of Cups. Wow. So right now, if you don't know anything about the tarot and you don't know the cards, you will probably go in your head like, okay, she's sugarcoating so much. She's just saying what I want to hear. But please hear me out. You've got beautiful cards in the category good news and good things coming your way. And I don't even know how to interpret that very specifically for y'all. But the Magician is about manifestation in a nutshell, okay? One word explanation for the Magician is manifestation. Or being an alchemist. Alchemy, that's the noun that I was looking for. And the Nine of Cups is all about a wish granted. A wish being fulfilled, you wishing for something, you wanting something and desiring a thing or an outcome very badly, and then it actually comes true. It's being granted to you and you're content with where you are. So these are the cards that you got. And wow, and besides, we do see a progression. We do see a real progression. I told you the Fool is usually put at the very beginning of the tarot, of the major arcana. And the first card, the next one, is the Magician, because you can see it has the number 1 on it. So it's really like you ending the thing that you need to end and severing that line, that cord, as you can see in the card of Death. Like the Death figure is holding a sword in order to sever a line, or a rope. It's not a line, sorry. It's setting you free emotionally, spiritually, maybe for some of you actually physically. It is clearing something in you. And then you're moving to the Magician, which means the good news, what you need to hear. It's pile number 2. If you want to go in any direction and you want to become someone specific, please listen that this card says, and it's not just my sugarcoaty opinion, it's what the card says, that you have what it takes to do what you want to do, to achieve your outcomes and your goals. So let's say you want to be you know what? I wanted to give you examples, but I actually will not, because my limited perspective will probably only give you like 2 or 3 examples from my own life, from my own genre, from what is close to me. But you all that come to my videos, you are definitely so different than me. I mean, okay, we resonate on some level if you listen to me, and I'm grateful for it. However, you're a completely different human being. So I don't want to put you in this kind of a box with my examples. But really, the magician says that you have what it takes. You have the skills, you have the knowledge, you have the materials, even if they're not physical, if they're not present. So an example for me would be, maybe I don't have a camera for recording my videos, but I have another phone and I can record them on the phone, and maybe they don't look super good and it's not, the greatest quality ever, but I know that it's not necessary. I've seen YouTube channels that have really shit quality and you cannot see even the cards, but the tarot readers have like 60,000 subscribers. So I know it's possible. And for you too, no matter who you want to be, if you even want to create clothes, let's say, and you don't have the cloth, you don't have any materials, believe me that if you just start your project, you have what it takes in your mind. You have what it takes in your creativity and in your passion, in your spirit, and you will attract the correct circumstances and people. Okay, now I actually sugarcoated a bit because I wanted to be nice, because when I see the Magician and the Nine of Cups, it's like you cannot talk otherwise. And see, I actually gave you an example with producing clothes. So I'm sorry, again, I don't want to put you in my box of examples. With the Nine of Cups, it's being content with what you made. And what I ultimately like is that the Magician, they hold every element from the tarot: the sword, the pentacle, the wand, and the cup. But he's an alchemist. He can turn any negative emotion into a positive one, any negative situation into a positive situation, and so on and so forth. But it's also, he can actually change the materials, he can change probably even the molecular structure. I don't know how alchemy works exactly. However, for me, it looks like he changed the sword, the wand, and the pentacle into the cups that are present in the Nine of Cups card. So from 1 cup, he went to 9, right? And now we see this figure that is so content with the castle, the sand castle that they built. And for me, this is what the good news that is happening, that something you've been wishing for is coming to fruition. You're proud of your work. You're proud of where you're going. It's like the decision you made, you're proud of it and you're happy with where you are. And it's beautiful. I'm really proud of you, pile number 2, if you did something for yourself and not for others. If you did something that truly resonates with you at your own core. So the good news is that probably I could even say that if you've been wanting some good outcome at your workplace, this may be also coming, because for me, the Magician is, he's not like, restless, but he is a hard worker. He likes to work and he likes his job. And with the Nine of Cups, well, the castle didn't build itself, right? It was built probably by this figure, maybe by someone else. Maybe it came from the universe through another human being. Maybe it was a gift. However, it was someone else's work, so there may be a message about you being content with your work, at your work, or receiving some good news there. And yeah, now we're going to look at the possible challenge if, of course, you want to listen to this category. It's going to happen now. The cards that fell out for you are the Six of Swords and the Judgment. So I am not surprised to see the Six of Swords, because this card is also about transitioning into something new. If you look at other tarot decks, maybe I will actually find you the card from another from another deck, sorry. So please give me a minute and I will show you. As you can see, because I found it, I took a little pause, and as you can see, this figure is moving from churning waters that are dangerous, from the dangerous sea or an ocean, into the calm and tranquil one. And you can even see a little bit of land, which to me means that they are close to reaching their destination, but they do need to make the last steps. It's the transition card. And it talks, it corresponds a lot to the death card. If you're severing something, if you're ending something in your life and changing the way you do it, you think about it, or just go about this situation, or maybe even just push something away at all for good, you need to allow that to go away. And as you can see in the Six of Swords, the three figures in this deck that we're using right now, the three figures are on a broom and moving towards the new destination, but one of the figures is looking back. And this is very normal to look back and reminisce about what happened, the good and the bad, and also learn lessons from it. But for me, this shows that the challenge that can await you in the next 14 days in your life is that you may waver and not be sure whether you will have made a good decision by ending the thing that needs to end. However, I am here to assure you, maybe some of you will freak out. However, pile number 2, remember that if you've got the death card, outcomes can change, but for me, it means that now you're manifesting that. And by your conscious choices and decisions, you can affect the outcome, you can change it. However, there are some things that we don't want to avoid, because we will avoid them now, but they will catch up with us later on. So you decide with your free will whether this death card has a role in your life or whether you don't want it to happen. But if you choose to do it, please remember that you're not making a bad decision. The Judgment is also telling me, and it's very interesting because it looks like the Judgment and the Six of Swords are connected through this melody, through the wind, right? If you put them like this, it looks like they're connected and it's the same wave of energy on both of these cards. So a few things. I'm getting a few messages from both of these cards. First one, even the name Judgment to me means that a challenge in your next 14 days will be not to judge yourself for the decisions that you are making. If you feel like something is in alignment with you, if something is a better path to go, then just do it. And please do not question your choices. What I heard recently on YouTube from Chloe Taylor, it was simple, but it really moved me because I needed to hear that personally. And she said, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. And then she said, I don't know if it was the same video or not, but she said, this is not your rehearsal like for life, right? This is the actual life. It's happening right now and it will end sooner or later. So please don't waste your time, pile number 2, for things that do not bring you joy and that they don't make your heart spark. So if you're ending anything, whether big or small, please don't judge your decisions. But the challenge is that you may have a tendency to do it. You may have a tendency to look back with this nostalgia feeling and ask yourself if you're doing the correct thing. You may have troubles with moving towards your new life. But with the Judgment is also about rising to your highest potential, to your highest calling. As you can see, this figure on the Judgment card is playing their own melody and then dancing to it. It means that you're dancing to the beating of your own drum, if you go by the judgment card, and not to the melody that someone else taught you or that someone else is singing or playing for you, right? So this may mean, if in this position, in this category of a challenge, it may mean that one of the other challenges on your way in your next 2 weeks may be to actually know what your melody even is in the first place and then to dance to it. What it means exactly is that you may feel like you want to listen to other people and trust them, their advice, and their lives. Maybe you see the proof of them doing things and you're like, okay, it works for them, so I will try it too. But remember that you're not them. And if you feel like you want to do things differently, then it's probably what you should be doing. And I'm also getting the message from Spirit is that some of you in the next 14 days will be getting ideas of what you really want your life to look like and what you want it to be, truthfully, without lying, without, making yourself look small. But then you will feel like you're wanting too much for you will not maybe be sure at times whether this life is really meant for you. So the challenge will be the questioning, and I would like to tell you not to question it, and I even might have literally a few minutes ago, but the questioning is also the process. The questioning is also something that you need to go through in order to learn from it, grow through and from the situation. So remember, looking back, being unsure, wavering, feeling like other people have it more figured out than you do. These may be the possible challenges, but I also feel like once you know about them, it will be easier for you to stay conscious of them. So I will stop looking at the tarot now. I have one more thing for you, which will be looking at a spirit animal that will be with you throughout the next 2 weeks. I will generate this animal for you on the internet because I don't have any animal cards. So please remember that if it's an exotic animal, for example, and you don't have it in your country, it doesn't mean that you need to go to the zoo and support animals in cages in order to see it. Remember that whenever you see it, it will be your sign, your guide. So on an image, in an image on the internet, one time I saw my spirit animal on a calendar in like a shop. You may see it, you may see the name of it, someone may mention it while you're walking on the pavement. Many things can happen, but if this animal appears in your life, please take it as a sign, and then I advise you to always go back to your center, go back to the present moment and be like, okay, this is a sign for me to be present, but this is also a sign of you being supported on the way. And yeah, one more thing I have before we go to the spirit animal, I have a request for you. Pile number 2 is to write these things down, maybe especially the energy not to miss and the possible challenges, because the good things we usually remember, like when we await them. But I feel like the challenge you can write down, and you may say that, okay, I will remember. But believe me, let's say I will give you a stupid example. And this is one from my life, kind of based on it. Let's say with the beating to your own drum, you go to a class. Maybe I have classes at university, so I'm giving you an example based on my life. Let's say you go to university and you have a class, and then some people start talking to you and they ask you, what are your plans for life? And you tell them, and these happen not to be the right people to understand you and really be there for you and love you for who you are. And they start saying, really? That's what you want? Shouldn't you maybe rethink it? And let's say you get triggered by it and then you go into a spiral mode and you forget about what I told you in this reading and you start questioning your path. So I feel like if you write down these challenges, you may be more aware, and then you may go like, okay, this is what For Divinity talked about. So now it's my challenge, but if I overcome it, it means I will be one step closer to who I really want to be. and where I want to be in life. Okay, so sorry for rambling, but I really wanted to make it clear. And now let's take a look at this spirit animal. Okay, as you can see, I will show you my phone screen. I generated this animal for you, and you've got the wolverine. So let's check its meaning, and I will also leave you the link to this article down below. If you want to read it in your next 14 days, then you can always come back to it. You can save this link, and yeah. So it says, are you in a situation where you need to call on every ounce of your courage? Can you be flexible when the time calls for it? Wolverine as a spirit, totem, and power animal can help. Wolverine teaches you how to survive and adapt in the most difficult of situations. Delve deeply in Wolverine symbolism and meaning to find out how this animal guide can strengthen, support, and empower you. Yes. Wolverine's meaning and symbolism bursts with intensity. There's something raw and unpredictable here, a kind of primal energy. With Wolverine, you take a walk on the wild side. Wolverine is a type of weasel being in the biggest of its tribe, and like any weasel, it likes a little mischief and sometimes all-out mayhem. Additionally, our friend has the heart of a lion. This creature does not back down. Surrender doesn't even exist in Wolverine's mentality, which gives him impressive characteristics like determination and ferocity. In nature, it's an aggressive critter. Okay. Let's skip a little bit. Call on Wolverine as a power animal when tapping into your inner wild and primal self. When you access your raw power, you will develop more self-confidence and present a steady front whenever necessary. Okay. When working with this animal ally, it lets you explore the shadow self. You will find it easier to persevere in times of trial, to discover your deepest passions and harness your strengths. Connect with this power animal when you're trying to assert your emotional strength or remain in control. It has thick fur, so the creature helps you protect yourself from the energy swirling all around you and the unwanted influence of others. Okay. So what I really got from it is the thick skin, is the persevering. So if there are any negative emotions and you believe in these kind of things, you may call on this spirit animal. If you ever want a story that I have, I can make another a separate video talking about how I met a spirit animal and like what messages it gave me. It was truly... it was like I think 2 years ago, and I haven't really done it since because I sometimes question myself whether like that's real or I just went crazy. But believe me, if you believe it, then it's going to happen. So you can always call on this animal, like conjure up the image of it in your mind when you need it, when you need the emotional strength. But I also like the part of being raw with your emotions. So if you feel anger, I feel like it's an encouragement from your spirit guides to not be scared of your emotions in the next 14 days. If you feel rage, even anger, these are the emotions that are very demonized in our society, especially anger and rage, and we usually look at the person who's angry as the one who's wrong, but it doesn't have to be that way. We have the privilege to feel this emotion. When you feel extreme sadness or even very positive, let it out somehow and do not be scared of what you're feeling. So you may feel some extreme emotions, I feel like, in your next 2 weeks. But yeah, you're actually encouraged to feel it, whether you're used to such emotions or not. Okay, so I feel like I will wrap up it here because it's long. It's been quite a while. I have been rambling for quite a lot. If you have listened to the very end, I'm very grateful for your presence. Even if you listen to 1 minute, I'm still grateful for your presence because, I mean, what are the tarot pick cards videos if it hadn't been for the viewers, right? So yeah, all the best on your way and on your 2 weeks. If that helped you anyhow, you may give a like, you may leave it. It will greatly help the channel. And maybe you can even come back. Actually, I would really love that if you came back in the next 2 weeks and you told me if that made sense to you, if that helped you anyhow, if you used the advice that I provided you with, and so on and so forth. So have a great day, evening, night, whatever you'll be having right now, pile number 2. And we'll see each other probably again, right? So, yeah, thanks and bye. Hi, hello, pile number 3. And if you chose the fluorite crystal, this is your reading all about your next 2 weeks, the 14 days in your life, what to expect. So we have 3 categories, as I mentioned in the intro. We will see the energy not to miss, so something very important coming up that Spirit wants you to pay attention to. The second category will be good things or good news coming your way. And the third category will be the possible challenges on your way in your life. And if you don't want to listen to this one category, I will give you an alert saying, hey, this is beginning now, so that you can always skip. Okay, let's look at the cards. First category, the energy not to miss. We have for you the Devil, Ten of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. Okay, so first of all, with the Devil, I think this is Spirit coming more with a warning to y'all that within the next 14 days, within the next 2 weeks of your life, you may experience this energy and encounter it in your day-to-day life. Now, the Devil may present itself as both people and circumstances, situations, but also your thoughts and your attitude towards things and towards life. So I will give you some examples. As you can see in the image, the Devil may be someone that's tempting you into doing something bad. It may be a situation that seems too good to be true. And okay, sometimes things happen. I mean, they seem too good to be true, but they are actually good for you. And what I mean is that we people have the tendency to sometimes look for the next shoe to drop, right? And we wait for things to get bad. But I mean that it would be maybe not a realistic offer. You will feel with your gut. You see the kids that the Devil is trying to tempt with money and ice cream. They are scared. So intuitively, they know there is danger awaiting within this situation. So it may also be your thoughts. The Devil is also things that hold you down and that keep you chained to something negative, to a negative cycle. And the Devil may also talk about addictions. So if you are a person who struggles maybe with, I don't know, cigarettes or addictions to the internet, the phone, whatever that would be, maybe even food, maybe keep in mind, if you feel like it may still have any control over you, then keep this in mind for the next week. But for those of you, I'm not really feeling the addiction thing here. It's more for me thoughts and situations that are tempting because they provide a quick solution. If you happen to see any shortcut to anything that you want to achieve, it's probably not the best way to go for it. Now, the Devil may also be negative thoughts and spiraling thoughts, so thinking badly of yourself. Basically, the Devil is anything that God is not, or that goodness is not. Let's say, if you don't like the word God, I'm not really associating it to any religion, I'm just using it as I use it. So the Devil is the bad, we could say, right? The opposite of the good. So what is the good? The good is the present moment. The good is acceptance. The good is accepting yourself, where you are, and how you are, everything about you. Basically, I would say acceptance and presence. are the things that you really want to seek in your life, because from that point onwards you create consciously, you know what you're doing, you have the righteousness and the sovereignty and so on. I wanted to say integrity. From that place you have integrity. So the devil would be all the opposites. It would be wasting your time in the ways that don't serve you, and that you know in your head that you're doing something that you shouldn't, or maybe that doesn't take you anywhere. So it can be wasting your time away on TV series even. It can be thinking too much about the past and about the future. So to make this category a bit shorter, because I've been talking about one card only, within the next 14 days, there might be a situation presenting itself to you that seems either too good to be true, it seems like a shortcut, like something you shouldn't be doing, and with your intuition you will know. It may also be negative thoughts that would chain you down, and be aware in these moments and know that it will go away, because I feel like this could be a progression. So the devil would be probably in the earlier stages of the next 2 weeks. Then we're moving on to the 10 of Pentacles and then to the 5 of Wands. So the 10 of Pentacles, basically in a nutshell, this card symbolizes stability, wealth, abundance, family, and good things, stable things happening within the family circle. I'm sorry if my voice sounds weird, by the way, but I'm a bit sick and I have a snot coming out of my nose. So if this is in the category of not what to miss, then I feel like it's spirit asking you to pay attention whenever you feel luxurious, whenever you feel abundant, whenever you feel like you're stable at your house. Now, the family that is represented here is very big, right? You have the parents or even the grandparents, maybe these are children or grandchildren, you have some animals, a big house, grapes, so a garden and so on. It doesn't have to pertain to your situation necessarily, but the home situation, even if you live alone, or let's say just with a cat, I feel like it's spirit asking you within 14 days to really appreciate these moments, that whenever you feel like you have a roof over your head and you're grateful for it. The important thing is that you don't push it through, impose it on yourself and make yourself feel it by force. But whenever you naturally feel like you're happy to take a shower, you're happy to have a comfortable bed, to have warm bed sheets that keep you warm at night, that you have light whenever it gets dark outside, that you can still read, you can still prepare yourself food, that you have the stove and all the things connected to the home that make you feel like you are abundant. The abundance doesn't have to be only having millions in your bank account. The abundance is literally not lacking, it is having. So spirit is calling you with this card, and I would really advise you to write this down on your phone right now, like in the simple notes, and maybe put it as your wallpaper, or if you use WhatsApp frequently, or Messenger, Telegram, whatever you use, or like messages, text messages, maybe write a message to yourself so that whenever you open this app you see this, so that you remember that within I don't know why you're being called to do this. Maybe it is possible that it will help you somehow, it will help you to move forward, but spirit is asking you to cultivate these feelings whenever you naturally feel abundant, to just take a deep breath, appreciate this, slow down, and be like, okay, this is happening now I am feeling like I don't lack, and this is the feeling that I want to feel throughout my life. So I feel like if you pause whenever to feel this, you will amplify these emotions in the longer run. And then we move on to the 5 of Wands. So the 5 of Wands for me is basically, also in a nutshell, about misunderstandings and people not really understanding where the others are coming from and why. So here you don't see this that much in this. I mean, you see it quite because I wanted to say that in one of my other decks, the Five of Wands, and is depicted in a way that you have 5 figures, 5 people, and they are all dressed differently. So here it happens a bit too. I mean, the colors of the clothes on the witches are pretty similar. However, usually this means that they all have different backgrounds, and this is why they cannot understand themselves, like each other. So that may happen in your life, that other people don't understand why you're doing certain things, where you're coming from, where you're going, and what is your purpose. But remember that you don't have to pay attention. This is easy to say. You don't have to engage in the quarrels and arguments and explain yourself. You don't owe any explanations to anyone. You have the right to be as you are right now. However, I feel with this Five of Wands in particular that it's not really talking about other people. Pile number 3 for me, it's really talking about you and how you feel internally. So it may happen within the next 14 days. I'm sorry for the snot. That you will feel internally split. One part of you will want to stay somewhere, another part of you will want to go. One part of you may want to say something to that person, the other part of you may want to stay quiet. And so on. Like, one part of you may want to eat a certain product, the other thing may be split and be like, why would you do this? I feel like this is an internal split about very day-to-day stuff, because the Five of Wands is a minor arcana card, right? It doesn't have the big number. Like the Devil, you can see the 15 on it. It's a major arcana card. But the Five of Wands, because it's a minor arcana, it represents more minor issues, things that come and go in our lives. And I really feel that this Five of Wands is pertaining to something very trivial, it's not something big as moving out of the house or not. I mean, it can be for some of you, of course, because different people come to these videos, but for me it's like you may not really be so sure what to do within the next 14 days, literally what to eat, how to dress, and so on. But remember that this is normal. And if there is any advice that you would like to receive from me, of course, do whatever you feel called to. But if you care to hear my advice, I would tell you to go with the first thing that you decide for yourself, right? So literally the most stupid example is that you sit at home and someone calls you and they ask, okay, do you want to hang out? And the first feeling is yes, but then something says, no, but I have all these responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. I would advise it to go with the first feeling, so that would be going out. Because the first feeling is usually the intuition speaking, the gut feeling. And once we sit in that decision for too long, we get into our minds, we get into the head, we get into the ego, and we bring the fear of something bad happening and so on and so forth. So this may interact with how we perceive a decision or a situation. So yeah, remember that if you feel like you don't know what you want, what you're about, and so on within the next 2 weeks, this is normal. Probably this is supposed to be happening, and don't go hard on yourself with this if it happens. And while I was saying this, I got a ringing in my ear, in my left ear. So it's like a message from me. That the ringing is always like a spirit message. Okay, I feel like we can move on to the second category. So that would be good things and good good news coming to you. So let's look at the cards. We have for you the Eight of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess, and the Queen of Swords. So you got 4 cards. I was hoping for like only 2, but you've got 4, and well, the abundance of good things, that is always good. So first of all, with the Eight of Wands, This basically means things happening fast. So if there is anything that you wanted in your life to happen fast, to get a quick response from someone, or a situation to be dealt with quickly, I feel like this may be indicated, and the outcome will be, I don't want to promise anything, but it can be very positive. The Wheel of Fortune can be a very positive card. The Wheel of Fortune tells us that unexpected things may come your way. Sometimes they are positive, sometimes they are negative. However, I am really getting the sense from this card, if some of y'all have been waiting for news about like winning something, particularly a contest, then you may happen to be the winner. Especially if it's like some sort of a game. If we're talking about a game, because right now I saw the cat on the card playing with dice. So yeah, if you've been hoping to win something, this is very likely that you will receive the good news about it. Or that just, the Wheel of Fortune says that something you're not even expecting may come your way. You see the switch, it's like fate, fortune, or the universe spinning this wheel and being like, okay, this is what they're getting. And the universe is like, kind of, we don't care, but it's good. So we're giving that to pile number 3. And with the Eight of Wands, I also want to comment on that card, that as you can see in this particular one, in this deck, the witch is scared because the tornado is coming. However, I don't necessarily feel like we should maybe read it that way, because the Eight of Wands, it's usually depicted very differently, especially in the original Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck. It's represented by 8 wands being symmetrical. I don't know the exact word in English, but they are all perfectly aligned, and this means symmetry, things going very smoothly but also moving very, very quickly. So it can also, for me, be like a wave of creativity. If you've been hoping to get more creative, this may happen because the wands are also very creative. The Suit of Wands corresponds to our career, our outgoingness, feeling fierce, and the fire inside of us. So if you've been hoping for some motivation or to start working, I feel like it may come to you, but just remember that this is quick energy. So if you feel a wave of inspiration, you need to hop on it very, very quickly. I will give you an example. If you are reading a book, and let's say this book is about history, and you read about a sword that they used like in, 13th century, right? And you feel super inspired by how the sword is described to draw it. Then please do not wait to finish the chapter or to finish the whole book, because the inspiration may only be there for literally 3-4 minutes and it may go away. So yeah, this might have been a specific message, but remember that this will be very quick energy. Other than that, if you've been just hoping for things to move quickly, maybe even bad things, they can. There is this energy present in your life in the next 2 weeks. With the High Priestess, if you've been hoping to get connected with the source energy, with maybe your chakra system, with something that you don't see with the physical eye, you see the cat in the card, right? The cats, they see, I cannot remember the exact word in English, but you know that they can see in the dark way better than we humans can, right? So there are things that even cats don't see, maybe only insects, but maybe no one sees them. Like we don't see the radio waves, but they are real, right? So that's what I mean, that all the things that you don't see on the day-to-day basis, that could be even manifestation, that could be your angels, that could be your ancestors if you want to connect to them, that could be maybe the ghost if you believe in those things of someone who passed away and you want to connect to them. Literally, for me, the High Priestess is anything that's very spiritual and in the ether. And if you want to connect to that, your intuition will be heightened. Your senses will be attuned to this very subtle energy, so you may connect to that. Now, if you're not into things like spirituality or witchcraft and you happen to stumble upon a tarot video, then it can just mean connecting with your intuition, with this thing deep inside of you that knows. And yeah, that's the good thing, the good news. And with the Queen of Swords, so the Queen of Swords is someone who speaks what is on their mind without feeling guilty for it. They speak the truth whenever they feel like it is necessary. They speak it righteously, and they do not hold themselves down and don't hold back, because they care about the truth being out there. So if you were hoping to tell someone else the hard truth, you may be having an easy time to do this. Or if you've been hoping to receive a message, especially it's about a message because the swords are very talkative. They correspond to the way we speak, but also to the mind. If you've been hoping to receive a spoken message, that could be the good news coming your way. And it's also about the thoughts. The thoughts can be very clear. You can think very clearly, and it goes kind of, it's like very much, how to say this, a bit of contradicting energy with the Five of Wands about the being unsure. But it's like the power to clear your thoughts is there in any negative situation. You will have the power to hold the sword and make the cloudiness go away. And especially with the High Priestess, we see the white candle and the black candle. So that may also indicate that within the next 2 weeks, you will be more prone and more able to hold the opposites of life, because life is not just black and white, but there are many shades within the range, right? But you also have the black and white within you. You have the yin and the yang, you have the masculine and feminine, you have many different aspects. Teal Swan also talks about how the psyche is split into little rivers that split off and branch off into even smaller rivers. And you can have many different sides of your personality. So that can mean that the power to hold the opposites and really understand yourself a bit more, why you sometimes waver, why sometimes you behave like this or like that understanding may come to you. Okay, so now I will now move on to the third category, which is a possible challenge. Now, this is not something that will happen 100%, but it can happen. And if you want to find out in order to be able to prevent it, you can listen. If not, you can pause or skip. So the cards that we have for you for this category are the Hanged Man and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So remember how we talked about shortcuts with the Devil, that there might be a possibility for wanting to choose shortcuts. There is also some quick energy, very fast, happening with the Eight of Wands. And now we have the Hanged Man in the category of possible challenges. The Hanged Man is all about pausing and stopping. And I feel like this may be a challenge. Remaining in one place, not necessarily physically, it may be talking literally physically, but maybe one place in your mind, or in one place with how you perceive your progress, with where you perceive your work to be. Oh yeah, it's speaking to me, because if you look at the card, you see this figure being upside down, and their feet are chained. They are literally chained with a chain, okay, to the broomstick. And for me, it's like you feel chained. You feel like something is holding you down, or it's possible that you may feel that way. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it talks to me, tells me that you may want to become the master of whatever you're doing, whatever you're hoping to achieve, whether that is studying about an area of science, whether that's something with your business, whether that's your career, whether it's your painting skills or your ukulele skills, or something connected to a craft, something that you do create or know, learn about. It's like you want to be the master right now, or not even the master, it's just that you want to be good at it, and it's very understandable. However, within the next 14 days, this will be even more. It will be heightened for you. It will be present as this possible challenge. And the important thing, my beautiful soul, is that you are patient. I know we hate to be patient. We even hate this word. Some of us hate this concept. However, I always talk about it, that these days we have the instant gratification. We go to a shop and we see something that we like and we immediately get it, more often than not. Of course, if we can afford, right? But here we practice manifestation. We are all rich and we're all good. So when we start to, learn the piano, we expect ourselves to know the first song after like 2 weeks, even though after 2 weeks we don't even know all the chords or how to put the fingers correctly on the keyboard itself, right? We have the instant gratification now. I even thought about it today, literally today. I got my phone and I had this song. I think it's called The Rising Sun. Yeah. It's very, very well known, very popular, and it's an older one. And suddenly this song was playing in my mind, so I decided, okay, to get rid of it, I want to play it out on my phone, right? So I got my phone, I got the app, and I typed in the title, and I wanted to play this song. However, I stopped myself because I realized that this kind of behavior is not supporting who I want to be. And I know I'm exaggerating, it's only a song. However, this is an example of it only strengthening and perpetuating me not being patient, me receiving the instant gratification. I want something and I have it now. And look, in the previous times, it's not like I want to give you a lecture. However, back in the day when we didn't have the internet, for example, my parents had to go to the library. They wanted to find out about, a certain flower. They had to go to a specific library, find the specific encyclopedia or the book about flowers, about botanical stuff, then sort through the pages and look for it. And maybe if it's like Sunday and the library was closed, they even had to wait because then they have to go to work on Monday, then to school, blah, blah, blah. And maybe they can only learn about it after a week, after a month, or after a year. Now we have everything at our fingertips, and it makes us impatient. So, thanks to listening to my tech talk. However, where I'm getting with this, pile number 3, is that within the next 14 days, you may feel this with whatever you're occupying yourself with. It may be even for like a second, but you may get triggered, and then that 1 second you may lose the beauty of the present moment, because you feel like, I wish I was good at this. I wish I knew this already. I wish I didn't make this mistake. I wish things happened quickly. However, I am here to reassure you that it will be normal because it's a challenge indicated in the cards. But the Eight of Pentacles shows me that you are capable of this mastery. You are capable of being good at whatever you're doing or whatever you want to do in the future. It doesn't have to happen now. You still have the time. Life doesn't happen in one day. Our life happens, of course, for some of us. Like others of us are not so lucky. I just had a friend die at the age of 24, so I understand. However, most of us probably will live a good long life, and let's be grateful for it. It will be like 70, 80, 90 years. So your time is not running out, okay? And don't rush through your life. appreciate where you are right now, because one day you will not be here anymore in this particular place with these people, with this mindset, with it in these clothes, listening to this particular genre of music. Okay, so you are beautiful in the now, and it will change when it's supposed to. So I don't know if you had to hear it, but just remember that the mastery, or the thing that you want, it will come. Just probably not in the next 2 weeks. Okay, so the last thing that I have for you, because now we're ending the tarot part, the last thing that I have for you is a spirit animal. This is a spirit animal that will guide you in the next 14 days. It will be with you. You may see it as a sign on a calendar, on your phone. You may hear the name of this pet or this animal somewhere. You don't have to physically see it, but you may, like as a real animal, flesh and blood, but you may see the picture of it. You may see it in a tail. You understand what I mean. Okay, so I will generate it on the internet for you, because unfortunately I don't have any animal cards, and I will show you my screen. I will also leave you the link to the article that I will be using down below in the description, so that within the next 14 days you can read about this animal whenever you feel like you need its help and its guidance. So please save this link. Okay, so let's see what animal you get. All right, I hope you can see my screen. Click generate or rerun, and we've got a newt. Ooh, how do you pronounce that? I need to check, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, very much. It's pronounced newt. Okay, so let's read about the symbolism. This is the page that I'm using, and it says, newts are a salamander and part of nature's amphibian family. They are creatures closely bound to the water element. If the water wasn't enough, the newt's slippery skin gives them associations with swiftness and escape. You see, quick, fast, energy. Moving. The average newt measures a slight 8 inches. Small does not mean defenseless, however. If they were not slimy, some newts have poisonous skin. Should some predator catch certain newt species, the result can be deadly. Their bright body colors warn of danger. And it's worth heeding, since the toxin is like poison found in pufferfish. Protection for the newt spirit comes built in. Okay. And let's look at it as a power animal, so as an animal to call upon whenever you need it. Swim with your inner newt power animal when you find yourself in two very different worlds. Perhaps there is a work-home balance you're not maintaining, or perhaps one world is way out of sync with who you truly are. Oh my God, this is exactly what we were talking about with this Five of Wands, about being split, about being in two worlds at the same time. Oh my God. Okay, in either scenario, newt helps navigate both territories and establish balance. Exactly. Wow. Focus on your inner newt power animal when you know metamorphosis is coming and you are not ready. Change can be scary and leave you off keel. Newt understands and offers you a brave outlook for embracing your transformation. Whew. Okay. I love it. So I will only read that much. If you want to find out more about this animal, I'm repeating myself. You have the link in the description down below, indicated that it's for pile number 3. I love this message. So yeah, like I said, there's some contradicting energy with understanding yourself with the High Priestess, and the not understanding yourself with the Five of Wands. For me, it's the same with the Eight of Wands and the Hanged Man. There is this imbalance of going fast and then pausing and not knowing which is the correct way to go. So you can call upon the spirit animal whenever you feel like you're in this kind of a situation, and please believe me that it works. I can make a separate video of my own story, how that works. I mean, I don't know how it works, but it does. So you can just envisage it in your mind. and say a prayer. A prayer doesn't have to be religious. Remember, it can just be, I'm calling upon Newt. Please help me now. Please show yourself, or something of that sort. So I would say if you see any salamander, because the newt is very particular and specific, if you see any salamander, this will be your sign. This will be the sign that you are called to go back to the present moment, attune yourself to your surroundings, and really listen to your own self. Okay, so yeah, wow, that was a lot of messages. I hope you remembered all of it, my beautiful listener. And thank you for your time spent here. I will wrap up the reading here. And do I want to give you like in a nutshell? Okay, for some of y'all that want to still listen, if you don't, you can, okay, bye-bye. But if you want to have it in a nutshell, remember about not going through shortcuts with this devil and not letting yourself be chained down with negative thoughts. Appreciate your home, your family, and any moments that you feel abundance. Remember that sometimes you may feel split between two worlds and not really know which is the correct way to go. But if you want my advice, go with the first feeling of your intuition and your gut. When it comes to good things happening your way, you can connect more to your intuition. The power of speech. Someone may communicate something to you, or you to someone else if you need to. There is truthness and righteousness involved. With the Wheel of Fortune, you may be getting unexpected presents and gifts. And you are called to slow down a little bit with wanting to be a master of your craft, and allow yourself to take more time than only 2 weeks. Okay, so my beautiful pile number 3, thank you so very much for listening today. It was actually a great pleasure to give you this reading. I was tired and I was like, okay, I don't want to do tarot, but then I did it and I'm so happy that I did it. So thank you, because you brought me the happy feelings too. And yeah, I hope it helped you. Okay, I will shut up now and stop blabbing. Until next time, because I'm sure we're gonna see each other again. You can always subscribe if you want to make sure that you will see me and hear me. And yeah, it was wow. Okay, so have a good day, evening, or night, whatever you're gonna be having, and bye bye. Thank you again.